Multiplayer games are incredible. They pack a whole new experience in gaming and just going on the internet in general. It's become such a normal thing to hop onto Discord, grab your favorite name brand soda, and jump into some casual matches of Siege with the boys. But I think most of us forget why multiplayer games make us happy. For some it might be the laid-back, pleasant experiences you can experience with friends or some nice teammates. For some the game itself might be the background or prompt for a really good conversation. Or maybe some people like to play games like they're not meant to be played and find glitches and break the game in ways that are hilarious. But then again, maybe you've played a game so much that it's lost all meaning entirely. Like Hypixel Skywars. But still, Hypixel Skywars and all these other experiences can be a great time, especially if you're hanging out with a friend. But let's say, suddenly, there is a number tied directly to how many wins and losses you have. Competitive gaming is something that's taken up way too much of my free time, and almost every time I finish a match they make me want to squeeze a handful of tacks and push pins and shout at my monitor simultaneously. Why do I do this to myself? Why does anyone do that? This leads me directly into what I want to talk about next. Fear. Some games increase the amount of relief that you feel when you win by making you fear losing. I don't ever think it's intentional, but there are so many ways that a game can make you despise losing. This really goes without saying because I'm sure most of you at some point have lost a ranked match and felt the mental equivalent of hydrochloric acid being poured over your fingertips. And the worst part is, it starts revealing itself when you know you are going to lose. And that can utterly ruin some of the good parts of the game. This feeling is contagious too. When someone else is upset, usually you know, even if they're not outwardly expressing it. But let's talk about when they are outwardly expressing it. And I'm not just talking about, aw man, I hate losing. That's fine. What I mean is, aw man, I hope your mom contracts cholera tomorrow. Toxicity. This is one of the biggest problems in match-based multiplayer gaming. It's only natural for some teammates to be upset when they lose. I am sometimes, you are sometimes, it's no secret. Don't worry, I'm not gonna report you to the Roblox team and get you banned from Fanned Up Forces. That's just not who I am. This fear of a bad feeling from losing can be mixed with the fear of your teammates just railing on you the entire match. And that is why it is so relieving when you know you are going to win. Let's just take a moment of silence to think about all the close wins we had and how relieving it felt. Most of these thin ice feeling games are match-based games. To name some of my favorites, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Rivals of Aether, and even non-match-based games can have this feeling too, like League and Overwatch, just because of their incredibly competitive nature. The thing about these games though, is they are the most tense when you have a win rate of around 50%. If you're on a winning streak, then the fear of losing minimizes a lot, just because you've already compensated for it. Same with losing streaks. If you lose enough, the fear of losing and also the tension kind of goes away, and you're left just feeling dull and upset. On the topic of losing streaks, there is a type of game that makes you lose so much that you forget what it's like to even fear losing in the first place. Welcome to IO Royale. We got PUBG, we got COD Warzone, we got Ring of Elysium, the place where you can brag about having a 2% win rate. Hey, a 2% win rate is pretty good. You want losing streaks? You want unfair RNG? The game design of a battle royale seems so counterintuitive when compared to a good design's end goal. The match-based games that I mentioned earlier all give you the taste of dopamine that you want from winning frequently enough to where you want to come back for more, because there is a sizable chance that you'll win the next match. Battle royales work a bit differently. Needless to say, you lose. A lot. Anyone who's played a battle royale game knows this. So why play them if you know you'll lose most of the time? I found that when playing battle royales, the main focus is to get as far as possible, but it's not the main source of enjoyment. If you're only playing to win a battle royale, you're probably gonna have a bad time. I get the most enjoyment out of these games by not only focusing on the win, but focusing on the small things that happen during the match. Instead of counting wins as being the last player alive, which a lot of the time just comes down to luck, you can count wins as doing really good in a specific scenario. making cool escapes, 1v3ing, doing a really creative play, anything that feels like it was unique to that exact match. That's why I think Battle Royale shouldn't be developed around the sole purpose of winning, but they should focus more on being a sandbox where anything can happen. I like Battle Royales that add things like lots of vehicles, movement-based abilities, speed, just anything that turns the game into kind of like a playground to do whatever you want in. That's really what drew me into them in the first place, and honestly, they've only been getting better. Warzone? That's a pretty good game. So I've been talking about winning Battle Royales like it never happens, but it's definitely worth mentioning. There are not many feelings like being in a drawn-out 1v1, fighting down to the last sliver of health, and finally landing the killing blow on your opponent, winning the entire game after like 30 minutes and way too many close calls. Winning is just something that kind of happens, and you can't really control it as long as you're decent at the game, so I never really focus on it. But oh man, once you've had a taste, it gives you all the reason in the world to come back and roll the dice, especially when you're so used to dying that it doesn't even feel bad anymore. So far, I've only talked about competitive gaming. What about the less intense games? Games where winning isn't really up to you because you have too big of a team. Let's take Battlefield 4 for example. In this game, you can do your part, and you can do it really well. You can repair vehicles as an engineer. You can resupply ammo as a support. You can revive dead teammates as an assault. You can sit on top of a building eating baked lays as a recon. But if one teammate does just as bad as you did good, your work doesn't even matter. Oh, and it can get worse. Just because Johnny_3000 decided to spam enter the tank and drive it directly into a minefield, your team can be without a huge source of damage for a game-changing amount of time. That's not just nullifying you, but multiple teammates. The solution? Don't play these games to win. I know that sounds strange, but I think the developers are on the same page because they added a bunch of progression systems that aren't based off of wins, but are more based off of kills, XP, and personal milestones. The reason I come back to these games, like Battlefield 4 and Modern Warfare, is so that I can unlock all the shiny new weapons and gear on the progression system. Progression systems definitely aren't exclusive to these types of games. You have games like League that are super competitive and you have to unlock every single champion before playing them. But these games definitely rely on progression systems more to keep someone hooked. Luckily, games like Battlefield 4 and Modern Warfare are fun to begin with and have those sandboxy elements that keep you coming back as well, but there are definitely some games that use this progression system as a crutch, and I think we all know what games I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Terrible at doing unscripted stuff, so if I sound a lot different from the rest of the video, you know why, but I just want to say thank you for watching till the end. And if you're here, you probably enjoyed the video, and if you did, then definitely subscribe, because I'm gonna have more videos coming out like this later in the future. Next week, I'm hoping to have a video on Apex Legends, kind of like a review / critique of its design, and I'd love to have you around for that. So if you're interested, definitely subscribe, comment below, join my Discord if you want to, and I will see you in the next video.